Ladies and gentlemen, right here on Superstar Wednesday, rapper extraordinaire, musician that stands out on every day, any day, anywhere. I'm talking about the one and the only. You call him VEC, I call him Vector the Viper. Babati Litz. Rocky man share the Litz. With the late Vector, what's good? How you doing, G?
Yo, I'm blessed, my G's. It feels good to be here.
And it feels good to talk to you again. Always, asides, for me, it's music, it's family.
Yes.
And, you're just one person who don't say much. But when you speak, it's a lot of fire. and the thing is, I always want to ask this question. How have you managed to stand out? Now, people expect you to be a certain way. People expect you to be, when a conversation about, you don't join the bandwagon. Let me put it like that. You're never, you follow the trend, but you don't join the bandwagon of conversations and trends. Mm-hmm. How have you managed to stand out and still keep it alive till date?
So I'd be lying if I said there was any manual to describe whatever it is that you just mentioned. But if there's anything, the original idea is what stays true forever. Like, if you say you're an artist, after all is said and done,
true,
are you an artist? And what type of artist do you know you are, or what type of artist are you? Are you the one who is aware that, things are always evolving in your environment, which will then become your inspiration? So you cannot be stagnant.
Absolutely.
Because music is music across board. Shout outs to the origin of music for us, how our parents exposed us to music and the ones that we found with friends and in life in general. The music library in my head to create from is so vast that how dare I be bound by time?
When we have conversations about being conscious, they expect you to be, you're a nonconformist. Mm-hmm. In a space like this, it's very hard, especially in Nigeria, where you realize that everybody wants you to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. For you, it's different. Mm. And sometimes when you don't join everybody, they feel you're out of the box. But for you, it's not the same. And that's why I keep saying,
But they keep saying think out of the box.
But that's the hard thing here,
so
right?
I step out of the box.
And you made that thing your thing.
The funny thing is there's no box. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's music, everybody's life inspires them. Whether it's their financial difficulty, whether it's their physical difficulty, whether it's their emotional difficulty, it inspires them to be the musician that they are, and I guess that's fine. Nobody should be the same with anybody. It doesn't make sense. We have Yoruba adages on Ikagbobo Cow Dogba. So what then is the validity of such wisdom when they've already said it? You've seen all fingers are not equal. They've given you in English. They've told you in many ways that it's okay to be yourself. So why not be yourself? Why is there so much copies when all fingers are not equal?
When you heard about, the conversation about hip hop is dead, how did you feel about that? And people expect, now the thing is, people feel like, you guys are like the guys that have kept it true to that genre, right? Mm-hmm. And expect you to say something about it. So in your case, why didn't you really touch on it?
There's nothing to be touched on. Again, people have opinions. Trespass is trespass, but it's just...
Did that upset you?
No. How dare I once again be affected by those type of conversations to the point where I'll feel upset? No, it's not. There can be conversations had with hip-hop, and we can be honest with it, because no matter how everybody claims, music has changed, everybody still believes in the music that has message.
Okay.
Everybody
Absolutely.
still believes, whether in groove, whether in vibe, whether in any style, everybody still believes that music that has message, whether rap, whether R&B, whether Afrobeats, whether anything, as long as it has message, shall they go? Yes, now, so we can have conversations on that side to the audience, like, why then are you so pulled away from such music? Enough that you don't support it, and this is just a broad question. So if we don't want to dilly-dally into all these conversations, it's best for everybody to just know that more. You see life as you see life. You do life as you do life. Yes, you can exist with other people, but all of you are not going through life the same way through the same perspective.
I agree. I totally agree with you. What would you say changed for you as a musician? From where you're coming from and now, what would you constantly say, this, I've changed on this, and maybe I'm not going back to this, or this is what I'm doing moving forward? What the vector we knew then is still the same vector, right? But I mean, for us as friends, but there's some things that have changed that maybe we don't know about. What have you changed about yourself then and now? That is a constant for you now.
So the thing is, first of all, education no be scam.
True.
Na person we don't know what they take am do. Na I don't know what they take am do. That said, I learned about, ironically, from a professor of philosophy who is actually from Benin. Well, I mean, I don't know exactly geographically, but Omoregbe. And he made me realize a lot of things, about just how to be yourself and learn through life. So once again, it's hard for me to let any other thing get into what it is that destiny is about. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to always check yourself. It's not
constantly.
Yes, every day.
Constantly.
Because, there are reasons every day that everybody should lose themselves, but you just have to check yourself. So I would check myself every time and be like, okay, I think I've grown. I don't believe in this anymore. I'm better at this thought now. So I start to apply myself in my personal thoughts. If I cannot tell you that Nigeria, let alone, this is the homework that we need to do. Everybody needs to get to this point where you're correcting yourself every time, so you're getting better.
A collaboration with Nicole is like a hit and a half.
Yeah.
How did you guys make that music? Because the thing is, you guys are you're workaholics. So why did you pick Nicole to make that record with?
Funny thing is, we're hanging out in Ikeja. One of those times where we just posted out, and one day two needed to get away, so he too was camping somewhere near, and then Yomi was dealing with him, Killer Kane, and they still do stuff together now. And he was like, "Oh, one day's around. Oh yeah, I have this jam because I was also recording whilst we were there." And he came inside and it was so crazy. It's so crazy that the first freestyle that one day did, when he wanted to revoice the song, he had forgotten that he had done them initially. Like that's how massive the moment was, just experiencing him,
So you felt like a deja vu to you?
To him, because I have the data of the song he recorded earlier, right? And when he revoiced it, some of the ad-libs he was trying to do, he had already done them then.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it was just massive, and the music was just simple.
And for me, that's spiritual sometimes. These things just happen. You just never know. And I always tell everybody, the best records are the ones you don't even plan for.
We shouldn't even be planning for records. Shouldn't we just be expressing on records?
Well, that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah, my G.
Back then, just opening all some kind of one. I'm just the guy who needs to take it in because, I'm just going to do my job.
That sounds wrong on all levels.
Yeah, I can see the direction. You're doing you now. Was that a personal decision? It's not like you've not been doing your own kind of me. I'm not saying, but it feels like right now you're very intentional about what you're trying to get out, the type of sound, what you're changing, and the thing is with you is you can switch things up. That's it with you. But I see the sound now. You're very intentional right now. You're doing you. Is that a personal decision?
It's funny you'd ask me this because now that I think about it, I've actually been searching for this. So it's not like it's something that I know that so I've been looking for it, even in sound engineering.
So what did you find?
Different pieces, different people, different ideas or ideals about stuff that I thought I wanted my music to sound like. So I started to meet those people. It's funny when it's true that you manifest what you want to create. Because in my head, I thought, okay, music genius, experiment with sounds. We did King Kong, and that was Atilogu and trap. Okay, so we could experiment with rap and Afro beats and create rap Afro beats. we can create lyrical bounce, since Yoruba language is pretty much orator, you know.
I agree.
Is pretty much very, very descriptive, very, very poetic, you know. So we can use that, because that then is the basis for rap, right? You can use that as the rap and Afrobeat music, because we can always evolve things. So for me, it's always been about that. It's always been about, I was looking for it. I was looking for that producer that wasn't carried away by whatever was going on, hence feels and popular.
So who do you find this time with one guy? Because
plenty. I met a South African who lives in Uganda or somewhere. Pardon me if I miss your country, but his work is phenomenal. But then I met Noah of recent, and his work is phenomenal. So I'm meeting people, but then it's only validating what I've been looking for all my life as an artist. Not because I know that I know how I think. I could produce things by myself. I could do equalizing by myself. So there's a sound that I know was possible.
Are you part of your process when you're making your records? When you mix your music, are you always part of the process from the top, from the beginning till the end? For example, let me be honest with you. You did Popular with Phils.
Yeah.
Phils might not have made that kind of beat for that kind of record, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like there was a vector in it. So on every song, do you just meet the producer and say, make a record beat for me, and I just jump on it, or you're part of it from top to bottom?
It's funny you mentioned Fields, because I think he told me he had made Popular instrumental. He had made the beat like years before I heard it.
Wow.
And he'd play it to artists, and they would just turn it down, because I guess everybody wanted Cheko Wale, Oduro's okay, you know. So in my head, I was like, okay, cool. And when I heard it, I just moved with it. It's the same with Self here. He sent me No Peace. It was a year after he just heard what he heard on the record. Early Momo, the same. So I don't have to, I let every creative be themselves. Just give me your own creativity, and then I will interpret it with my own creativity. Let me now add. That's why I hate when people now go back and go and add.
Oh, so once you work with someone, you want to be part of it till then.
Now, I'll be part of my side. Just hold your side down. So
but you know, people will always change stuff.
If you change it and I don't like it, I'll complain now. I'll tell you that.
Have you ever turned on the record before?
I've not released plenty videos because I don't like them.
Like Tolamba Tikboju.
Oh no, we're turning now. Files now to be me quite fan now. I mean, like I'm not releasing.
Really?
Really, but Ego too at some point. I just didn't like it. There are about 3 now in my head. Now that I'm counting.
You know, I don't want to get in your head. So, is there a video for it? Which one of it with Fouls? Which record?
Condom.
Oh. So they shot a video. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
So you told, but that's your guy.
I don't remember if I did tell him. I think Yomi must have said to the management, like, no, we're just not comfortable. I was just not comfortable with the work.
But you love Yakubu.
I love, yes, that's dope. That's super dope. It has nothing to do with comparison.
Okay.
It's just that sometimes the work, I'm just not interested in what it looks like, and I'll just leave it at that. Art is not to be forced, even though sometimes you struggle.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't still force it, so yeah.
Okay. You kind of felt to me like something changed when your kids came, right?
Yeah.
What exactly changed for you?
If you respect life, if you claim you respect life,
yeah.
you're not going to respect your pequeno. It's a plus. We can speak English from now to tomorrow and be smart and be intelligent, but before we learned the ABCs, we were born into tradition. So I'm a child of wisdom. I'm a Yoruba man. I know certain things that I was raised by, and some of them includes Akin Komo Nilewa.
Bah.
You know, Authority whatever you have, but Akin Komo Nilewa. It's a moral that has rang in my head. I miss plenty other Yoruba adages, you know. So when it's time to be a daddy, it's time to be a daddy. It's not by anybody's validation anywhere.
And I think what's nice is nice. Let the daddy be daddy, right? Sometimes you want to be daddy and somebody just doesn't give you the chance to be daddy. That's another conversation for another day. But I see that you're very intentional about that. You're very deliberate about that.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it's a side that we always, when we come in connection with, you realize that, you would think, oh, no, it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal, right? Because, for everything, sometimes decisions you make as a person is because of them as well, right?
It's like yes, that's so true, but there's way more to it. Like, you also now don't want somebody teaching your child nonsense.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like, you will rage. Like, you must understand that you will not spoil this one's life. Like, I don't care what the reality is. You are not allowed to affect. So that energy is there. That's also like the protection side of the father.
Yeah.
That you also see and you're like, okay, gotcha, 100%. So it's a beautiful thing to experience, I guess.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had so much serious conversation and talk. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the day.